How you doing? You right? Very well, thank you. Are you? Good. A lot of mental health illnesses is to do with some kind of trauma in your life. Now, whether that's childhood trauma, it could be something that's happened to you, it could be a death, it could have been in the army, it could be you witnessed a horrific accident on a motorway, watch somebody die in front of you, anything like that. And that's then caused you to have a mental breakdown or some kind of mental illness which is affecting your life and affecting you to function in the right way or a way that you should. It's very easy then to mask that with alcohol and narcotics, but you're never ever going to sort out your mental health unless you deal with that actual trauma. And you could be given to the best psychologist in the world, but unless you are not totally clean, but not masking your trauma with drink and drugs, you're never going to really get proper diagnosis or get to the root of it. The only way to go forward is to actually deal with the trauma that you're having to deal with. Does that make sense? So whether it's abuse, whether it's a life experience, unless you actually deal with that, then you might as well piss in the wind, because it's just going to keep coming back in your face. So I masked mine for 30 years through drinking drugs, and with professional help and a bit of effort on myself not to be pissed all the time, drinking spirits, etc. Don't get me wrong, I've done a few pints and done a bit of this, done a bit of that, but till I calm that down, then I could get to the root of the problem, deal with that, and then move forward. On the flip side of the coin, people with a drink problem or a drug problem would, a lot of people I've spoken to would like to blame it on mental health, because it's quite a fashionable topic and it's quite a thing that it's a get out of jail card, I suppose, when really it's the drink problem and the drugs problem. From my own experience with somebody who fought not to be diagnosed or to admit that it was a mental health problem, I used to say to my psychologist, the shrink, that surely it's perhaps the rave days or the amount of consumed alcohol, being a pisshead and living recklessly and that sort of thing. How do you know? How can you prove to me that your diagnosis is real and that I have a mental health condition called borderline personality disorder? Which they did. I don't want to repeat myself, but they did, through going through school reports, medical history, etc, etc, etc. So the point of this video or vlog or whatever it's called is to say this: unless you actually deal with the trauma that's giving you certain thoughts, real negative thoughts, which could cause to a terrible outcome, then you're never ever ever going to go forward. So if you're a drinker, you're a drinker. If you have a narcotic problem, you've got a narcotic problem. But if you have a mental health diagnosis, then I personally think that's a different thing. they are very intertwined, because people with mental health conditions, especially personality disorder, are reckless and use self-medicating to get them through on a daily basis, which unfortunately is not helping them because they're not dealing with the actual trauma that is causing them the problems to function normally or somewhere near normal in life. Have a lovely weekend.